Hey guys, welcome back to TAMIYA Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. I'm going to do something slightly different on this video. I'm going to do this as like a full day vlog of what this TAMIYA Legends channel does and some of the extra work that we have to do. Because normally when you see an edited video, it's just really centered in on whatever that video is about. So I'll start by showing you what today's mission is, and the difference from this is I'm going to show you all the other little jobs that you don't, or I don't usually show on this channel. It's going to be a little bit more sort of laid back. There's no TAMIYA Legends t-shirt stuck on today. We're drinking coffee, which is a must because it's 7 o'clock in the morning. So we've got all this in front of us. Let's show you what we're going to be doing today. So from getting back from yesterday's video where we ran the top force at 48 miles an hour on 3S, which was absolutely awesome. After I'd finished the video, I was sort of just playing around using the battery up, and we had a little bit of a crash, and that ended up with me snapping the one of the front side suspension, not suspension, this U-clip mount, I don't know what you call it. As you can see, it's snapped, so that's trashed. Grease. And we also bent the pin. So normally I would have just sort of fixed this up without you seeing it, but as I say, this is just going to be a full vlog. So in order to fix this, we have to go on and use this as a donor car for now. So obviously it's the standard DF01 chassis. So we're going to pinch the part from it, the bulk. I think it's called a bulkhead. So this is in really great condition, this car. So we're going to pinch the bulkhead, and we're also going to pinch the pin, and I'll straighten the other one up at a later date. So that's going to be the first mission, to get that out. I will put the old smashed one back in this chassis, but obviously I won't be able to fit the pin or anything, but I can. This is all getting stripped anyway, so it's not the end of the world. So we'll get that, so we'll get the new parts, and then we'll stick them in the top force. While I'm there, the whole point of today's video, the whole point of today for me is to set the top force up, because we want to test the TAMIYA TRF Acto tuned competition motor. So this is the whole point of the video, to get it up and running to this stage. So in order to do that, I don't have any motor wires spare for this motor. So I've been using this set, which is quite a thick gauge wire on the Yokomo 14-turn impulse motor. So what I need to do, I need to get this motor out and unsolder these wires and solder them onto this motor. But in order to do that, I need to, while I've got this motor out, and I might as well take it apart and clean it, take the wires off it, and then it's good to use at a later date. And while I'm doing that, I'll whip the speedo and the receiver out, and then that car's kind of done for now. Then when we've got that done, what's next? Then we've got to start fitting this stuff in, but because I've been running the top force with the speed tuned gear set, we're also going to have to open the top of the top force up, stick the standard spur gear back in, and the standard 17 tooth pinion. That might be a 21, I'll have to check. But I did all these motor tests with the top force on standard gearing and 17 turn pinion, so I need to set it back up for this TRF motor test, which is a bit of a ball ache, but it's the only way I can guarantee that the car was identical, so I can see what the motor does and if there's any improvements. So in order to do that, we need to take all the brushless gear out of the top force. We need to refit this new Rain 480. The last one was 320. Yeah, that's interesting. Never noticed that before. So this is a new Rain 480, which is an unlimited brushed speedo that runs NIM and LiPo. It's a great cheap speedo. I love it. I'm gonna to save time, I'm going to use the TRF motor with the standard bullet crimps. On the hotter motors, I've been soldering them direct to the motors, but just to save a bit of time, because the actual running video is going to be quite quick. So by using the bullet connectors, it's going to allow me to set the motor up using the 3-step manual speed controller. Because, where's the timing on this? So that's the timing mark there. I don't know if you can see that. So I have no idea on this motor's history. So it's going to be to open it up, clean it all out, check the com, clean the com up best we can. And then we will fit the end bell back on, and as I've done in the past, we'll just put it on the first speed, and then at least we can put some current through the motor with a battery, and we can just find out what position the end bell needs to be in. So that needs to be done, and I kind of think that's it for now, so we might as well get cracking, and let's get this front end fixed on the top force, and then we'll go from there. So let's get this one off. At least this isn't a big job. The other problem I have now, because obviously I don't have spares of this part, the idea for all this buggy was the custom DFO1 build that I'm doing with the top force, and then making this into basically a top force. But now I'm going to be this bulkhead part missing. So I'm wondering whether I order the metal alloy one, which will match all the alloy hop-ups I've got for the future top force build. But it's a lot of expense to that, but I'm now at a stage where I'd have to buy a plastic one anyway. So I just wonder. Right, let's just whiz that off. That comes out, that comes off. So that's the new one. I need to clean that up, and let's just put the old one back in. It's a shame, but what can you do? So yeah, I'm gonna probably, excuse me, after I've done this, I'm probably gonna have to get onto eBay and see if I can find that metal bulkhead. I think it's going to cost, I think they're about $46 shipped from Hong Kong. $46, so I'm looking around about 25, 26 pounds. But as I say, there's not a lot I can do about that. So that's the two parts we need, and there's not a great deal I'm going to be able to do with this, unfortunately. I wonder if I can. I don't even know if it's worth trying to get that. No, that's not going to go in because it's bent. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We will just stick the bumper on so it's out of the way. And then this car is unfortunately retired, I guess, for the moment. I'll have to get that onto hard surface and use a hammer to straighten it out. That should be a fairly easy job. Right, so just while we've got this car, we need to whiz this gear out now. We only set this car up to do this speedo mod on the 1060 with the power caps on, which seemed to work a treat, which was nice. Much easier taking stuff out than putting it in, isn't it? The receiver was on Velcro, so that's that out. Speedo was on Velcro, so again that's an easy out. And then we just really need to get the motor out. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm just wheeling the way. When I'm doing these kind of videos, I realise I really need to talk more. It'll be boring enough as it is. This is a great motor. this is just one of those bonus times where you get something and I thought it was a complete bodge of a motor, which it is, but it's actually worked a treat. I'll just get this screw out, put this wheel back on, and then this car is pretty much done. The old blazing star from Darren. Shout out to Darren for sending me this to work on, much appreciated. Right, so that's that done. So what I'll do now is I'll just go clean this up, and then that's the part cleaned up. I've inspected it, there's no cracks on it. I've inspected the lower arms as well and they're fine. So we will, in fact I won't put too much grease on. It's got a fair bit on already, we've not really touched it. Oops. Let's try use that grease up. Okay, that's not going to work how we wanted it. Oh, come on. Get round. Right, so put the new, oops, let's just wipe that off. It always amazes me how much grime locates around this. Obviously it sticks to the little bits of grease, but you've really got to make sure you get that bit cleaned up. Because if that gunk gets into your gearbox, you're going to have a problem. Right, so that fits like that. And let's just... It's a good job I had this donor car, otherwise we would have been at a stop. And as always guys, do not over tighten and tighten up going from in the diagonal way. So easy to strip. Right, that's that on. Now let's get these locating pins in, which is always a little bit fiddly, especially if you try to do it one-handed. Probably doing this the wrong way. I should put the pin in first. Right, come out slightly. Oops. This is one of those occasions where you could do with a spare hand or two. Come on. Excellent. So you see the two pins just come through. Everything's working. Diff's free and everything, drive shafts are in. And it's just a case of sticking the bumper on. Obviously the bumper, oh god, look at the gunk. The bumper locates and keeps the pin in position. So that sits like that and clamps that down. And again, don't over tighten, just finger tight at the beginning until you get it in its actual position. And down into position like that. A little bit of tension just to get the last nip of it. And that's the bumper done. And the top force is back in action, which is great. Right, what to do next? I'll tell you what we'll just do while we've got this. Got the two motor screws. So if I can whiz this pinion off, and I bet I can't do it with this. I bet. Come on. Oh, I don't want to force it, I need to get a proper Allen key. I always find using a proper Allen key on the pinions on the mortars instead of the Tamiya one. You just get a little bit more, it allows you to get more tension on it. I love this mortar. We'll definitely be getting this mortar out again in the future. Mind you saying that, I've not, we've not stripped it, so we might find some problems. I'll leave these screws in this plastic mortar mount for a later date. Obviously we're using the hop up alloy metal one in the top force. So that's a 17 tooth pinion, so that's the one we're going to have to use back in the top force, so we'll leave this one out for now. I think before we start on the mortars, because we'll get a clean area before we start stripping the mortars, I think what we'll do next is get the top force stripped off and get the brushless system out of it. Right, so let's get the brushless system out carefully. It's the only downfall of doing what I do, that sometimes because I'm waiting on parts, you see the next, I would have loved to be in a position where I could have left this in, because I've still got to fit the 66 tooth speed gear in here with the 25 tooth pinion, but I haven't got the 25 tooth pinions on order. So if I had it, I could have just installed that, done the final run with the brushless, hit the 50-mile-an-hour mark, which we think we're going to hit, and everything had been rosy. But because I'm waiting, I have to change things over, which is a bit of a pain in the butt, to be honest. But what can you do? And I suppose it gives me a chance to clean these cars up a little bit. But we're definitely getting to the end of the top force, slowly. It should be a sad day. That's the alloy mount. Looks nice and blingy. Let's just get that last screw out, which is always a pain. Okay, that doesn't want to come out. Right, so that's that screw. Keep that safe. And then we've got this. So again, let's get the Allen key. So this is running the big 23 tooth pinion, which is huge for what I normally use. But as I say, we're going to be going to a 25 soon. So we'll keep that safe. And let's change these tools over, get this mount off. Really impressed with these mortars. It's unbranded on the casing, but I believe it's a Gould RC, and it was a combo set, 4370 kV motor. Now I know there's been lots of comments saying it's not a 540 size rotor, it's a 380, but I think the performance is absolutely awesome for the price. And as I say, when we ran it last night, it hit 48 miles an hour, which was pretty awesome. Probably in the future at some point we'll get into opening this up, because I know you can do sort of maintenance on them. That should be interesting, because I've never done one of those before. But anyway, well, that's to do at a later date. Let's just keep these screws out of the way. What's next? Speedo. Don't know how I stuck this down, and the switch needs to come off, which is just taped down. In actual fact, I was just looking at the Speedo, and I just remembered that I took the fan off of it just so I could mount this a little bit quicker, but I'm wondering if I should put the fan back together. I don't know what I've mounted this with. It could be that gel tape. Oh, come on. Way. Let's get this wiring out. We've got to tidy all this wiring up again. Right. Gives us this. Keep the steering servo. Let's get that wire out. There we go. Let's see Speedo out. Again, can't knock this. I think it cost me $55 for from Hong Kong, this combo unit. It's been absolutely awesome. Highly recommend it if you're thinking of getting one. The only downfall is it's the size of the thing. It's pretty big, which is a bit unfortunate, especially when it's got the fan on. But anyway, not to worry. So we'll leave the GPS unit on the car, because obviously when we're running the TRF motor, we want to see what it's doing. So what's next? Oh God, don't you just hate all this double-sided sticky tape on the chassis? It's a real pain. It's awesome if you've got the luxury of just fitting stuff once, but when you have to do it a couple of times. And I've tried Velcro on some stuff, but I just don't trust it. I think if you hit a big enough bump, it would actually come off and you might end up damaging something, which wouldn't be great. So I think I'm going to have to just get a little bit of product on this just to get this cleaned up. Yeah, let's get this. Right, we've got that cleaned up best we can. Got most of it off, so it looks better. Just giving it an overall brush with the trusty paintbrush, which is great for getting into all the nooks and crannies. So that's the car kind of good to go to start reinstalling. So I think the next thing to do is going to be, oh no, I tell a lie, it's a gearing. We need to fit this standard spur back on. I almost completely forgot about that. That wouldn't have been great. Again, oops, nice easy job. That comes off, take the screw off. Keep that because it's got all the nice grease inside. Let's get a little cloth. Take this one out. So this spur comes out. Oops. Let me get my grubby hands on all the nice fresh grease. Right. So this is the spur gear that we have. Got to get this little cap off. There we go. And then that pushes the spindle out. And then we just, oh, I was just going to say we need to get that bearing out, but it's out. So that's the 60, what is it? Can't see it there. 66, I think it is. Why has that not got any markings on it? It should have. T6. That's really odd because I thought it had the number of teeth on it. Okay, that's a little bit bizarre. Oh, it's just because it's a standard one. No, it's not, that's a standard. Because it has the aluminium gear. That's really odd. Sorry I'm babbling on, but I just remember seeing that had the markings on for the teeth. Anyway, not to worry. So let's put this one back in this bag to run at a later date. In fact, let's just get this pinion out as well and figure out why that's in there. That's a 22, so that just needs to go back in the box. So it's a 17, but we've been using a standard, so that's going to go there. Let's put that back in there. A quick wipe of the hands. Let's put the bearing back in, spindle back in, little bearing locates. Fact, yeah, that's fine. Push that in, and then the little cap goes on, and we're good to go. So I'll just put a tiny bit more grease on. You can never have enough grease, guys. There. Let's just lift that up. That sits in. Just move that grease round slightly. And in fact, we need to just grease the bevel gear as well on it. Just a tad. There. And then make sure that's sat in correctly, like that. And that's lovely and free. Make sure there's no residue, which is not. And then that's a standard spur gear back in. Always interests me for this on this channel how long things take. When you think something's only a couple of minute job, and then you make your video, and when you come to editing, you realise how long it's taken to knock that video out. Right, again, do not over tighten. Perfect. And now the car is definitely ready to go. So just a quick recap, we've put the new bulkhead back on with a new U-pin, that's working fine. We've taken out the speed tuned gears and we've put the standard, I think it's a 74 tooth spur in, re-greased, and that car is now ready to install. So let's put the lid back on the grease. So it's motor time. So what I need to do now is we'll just have a quick clean up of this and we'll open both motors up, because I don't want to solder the wires on when it's on the can, because my soldering iron's not great and the can takes a lot of the heat away. So I'm going to solder it just out of the can, if that makes sense. These should come off fairly easily. It's just a case of cleaning it up, see what it looks like, and then again we'll take the can off the TRF1 and we'll solder these terminals up. Really looking forward to running this motor. Right, let's have a look inside this one and see if we've killed it. We had the timing turned up full on this one. It's a Yokomo 14 turn, but we know that the armature in it isn't the correct one, as you'll see, but it's definitely quite a hot wind. You can see those brushes, they were brand new, so they're starting to wear, but they're wearing quite evenly, which is nice. The timing marks was just over the maximum, but again, when we come to run this in the future, I'll set that back up, so I'm really not bothered about putting it back in the same position. It doesn't matter this time round. So in theory, we just turn it slightly, there we go, find the opening point, trying not to touch the end of the brushes with my grubby fingers, and that comes off like that. And to be honest, that comm's not in bad condition at all. Hope you can see that. That's really not in that bad condition. I kind of want to show you this comm, because it's just got a very unique, again, try not to touch the comm. It's got this really unique magnet setup. There's no markings on it to tell what it is, unfortunately. But it's got the wide diameter comm on it, which is the first time I've kind of seen that, which is pretty unique to me anyway. Just on that, I'll tell you what I really need to buy, which I haven't got, bearing oil. You know, you get those little pens with a really fine metal tip that you can get right into your bearings. I don't have any of that and I really should. So, and when you're doing this, guys, be very careful not to lose your little washers on either end of the rotor. Super important. I should also probably invest in the proper kit to clean the comms up. But we are getting to the end of the motor videos, or the brush motor videos, where it is slowing down. But that has got so much more life in it. That is awesome. Let's just get in there, get this, all the residue of the brushes. As I say, these were brand new, so yuck. Definitely need to get that bearing oil, that's a must. Right, So we're happy with that. We're happy with that. I need to see if we can just clean that. That's not too bad actually. Let's see if we can just get that in. Yeah, as I say, sorry for repeating myself, but definitely going to run this motor again. It's a great motor, and as I say, we had the timing turned full up on it, which did have a quick. This motor actually did 30, what was it? It did 36, no, sorry, I tell a lie. It did 31 miles an hour on 2S in the Kyosho Optima Mid. I mean, 31 mile an hour for a brush motor is pretty cool, and it was still punchy as well. It didn't lose a lot of torque. But obviously if I turned the timing down a little bit, we'd get longer. But saying that, the battery life in it was awesome as well. Right, that's okay. Let's just put this rotor in out of harm's way. Again, try not to damage the magnets or touch the comp. There we go. So that's that. So we'll leave that alone for now with the brushes. So this is the bit we want. This is, oh, I guess, so messy. This is the bit we want to get these wires taken off and put onto the TRF. So now let's have a look at the TRF motor. Heard really bad. I've never heard a good word about these motors, which blows me away. This was Tamiya's TRF competition motor. It's a 12 turn, obviously fully modified, tunable. And everyone who's run it said it's pants, which blows me away because in the timeline of Tamiya motors, this came out after the Dynatech 02H, which was a 13 turn, which also did a 10 turn hop-up rotor for, which we've run in previous videos. And then after that, the Tamiya Super Modified 11 turn came out. So this sits in between there. So obviously I know how the Dynatech 02H runs, and I also, as I said, know how it runs with the 10 turn hop-up rotor. So this should be very similar to that, which it's not like lightning, but it's quick. I don't know this motor's history, but judging by how clean it is, I don't think it's been run a lot. It's got very thick brushes on it and dual core as well, which is pretty new to me. So the timing side is the capacitor side. Quite important that I remember that. So let's slacken this off. Just a tad. Again, try not to touch it. Timing side is capacitor side. Ooh, that was tight. There's always knowing where to hold these things. There we go. Oh, this is another wide com. That's interesting. I've just noticed the washer's come off, so let's get that out so we don't lose that, the rotor washer. That is super clean. That is super, super, super clean. This motor has not been run much at all. It's got this very different style of rotor on it. Oh, the magnets are good. Wow, look how clean that is inside. So again, another washer. In fact, there's two, that's 3 washers together. So let's make sure. And the rotor's marked 812W. So obviously the 12 denotes it's a 12 turn wind. It's got this fan unit, I presume, to keep it a little bit cooler. That's awesome. It's been run, but it's not been hammered at all. That's spotless inside. It's so cool. We'll just wipe that off, just getting in residue off of it. Right, so just while I'm here, I want to just make sure we get the washers the right way around and we don't lose them on the rotor. So that goes there. Right, so that's Mr. Rotor, springs and the can. God, that's awesome. So, next job is to get the wires off of this one and put onto this one, and then we can have a mess around with this motor, put some power to it and see what it's going to be like. which is always exciting. Right, we've got the soldering iron on. I'm just getting all the other bits out we're going to need. One of the worries I have is when I got my soldering iron, it came with this proper gauge solder, which was awesome. But I've nearly used it all, so I bought some more, but the thinnest gauge I could get was this. And it's a little bit thick, as you can see the difference. So not too sure if we're going to be able to do that. Should be okay. So obviously we've got the 2 end belts to do, but what we're also doing, we're changing on this new Speedo, we're changing to Dean's connector from the TAMIYA, from the trusted TAMIYA, or TAMIYA connector, which is that one. So just while we're here, let's just cut this off. Always use wire strippers, guys, don't do it this way, this is bad practice, but this is what I kind of do for a living, or did for a living. Unable to work over here as a visitor at the moment, hence why it's every day is a TAMIYA day. I've got an electronics background, not so much technical side of it, but production management and production manufacturing. Right, and we need to also figure out which way that's going to go. And I tell you what, I always forget is the heat shrink. It's so important. I always forget it. How much should we leave? Just pop out that much. I wonder if anyone's even watching this video at this stage. I'm probably realistically just talking to myself. This seemed like a good idea at the time, so anyway, not to worry. So I'll just stick that on. Stick it down, because obviously the wire's going to get hot and we don't want it to move the wire. To actually shrink it down before we get it in the correct position. Slide that down. Come on. Get on. Right. So we've got that. So actually, we'll do this first before I had to turn the camera off because I'd used the wrong plug, and what an idiot. That's what you do when you do these stupid videos. Anyway, we've soldered that on now. It took longer than I thought, and unfortunately the red heat shrink I've used, the solder is too big. So I've just put a little bit of insulation tape around both terminals, and I've got this longer heat sink which hopefully should allow us to do this. Right, that's good. And then just shrink it. Oops. It's a little bit long, but it won't matter. Turn it other way around. Right. Not the best, I know, but it's done. And it's solid, which is the main thing. And we'll just double check that we have got terminals on the right way around, which we have. So that's that little job done. And that took so much longer than it should have done. I'll tell you what, I would just like to check while we're here that it is going to connect to the battery without any danger. That's off. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Right, so that's that little job done. I made really hard work of that. I apologise. Right, next up, I need to see if we can get these off. I need to hold this in such as a position. I'm not too sure how we're going to do that. I just need an angle like that. There we go, it's got a nice little, it's not the best, is it? Let's try it anyway. Let's go with this one first. There we go. Iron's nice and hot. Cool. Take that off, that's that one done. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these and start these wires again because they're a little bit splayed. Bear a little bit. I don't know if that's long enough. Let's just be a tad longer. That's better. Ventilation off. Right, again I'm not too bothered which way around these go. Is the terminals marked? Saying that that's the plus side, which doesn't really matter, to be honest. Right, this is about, I just tighten this bracket up a little bit so it's not moving around. Not too tight, but tight enough. Right, let's see if we can, that's a little bit, straighten it so it matches the other one. Right, let's see if we can hook that up there. Okay, got a bit of a grip. Clean this solder tip. Solder. I'm going to do this slightly differently now. Okay. Where's that screwdriver? Just going to add some. And that's rubbish. We need to keep it, make that a lot hotter. Really melt this solder down. It needs to be hotter yet. Well, that was shocking. This solder's no good, definitely, and the iron's not hot enough. But when I used this last little bit of solder, it was much better. I know this stuff's lead free. Now this should be lead free as well, but this kind of solder like it was lead. Anyway, it's done. So the motor wires are on, the solid. So let us now making sure that we have all these on properly. do that. And then the timing side, there's the markings. That was on the resistor side, which was here. Where's the timing markings? Let me just make sure there's only one mark. Yeah, there's only one mark for the timing. Holding that plate down. Here we go. And then turn it, and that gives us, that motor's back in, and then obviously it gives us the ability to, if I can hold it properly, just turn that timing if need be. As I say, I don't know, so I'll just stick it in the middle because I don't know which way around it should be. It's probably that's at its lowest and that'll be its highest, but I'm not sure. Anyway, let's put this brush back in. And the spring. Make sure that's all clipped in, and then just move the brushes back on top out the way. And same with this one. Back in, turn, put the spring on, over, and then clamp. And then just push the wires over. Right, that's that. So, just while we've got it, what we've done with the battery, we need this little contraption. So we've also got to make sure the direction of the motor, which I believe is that way. Let's just connect it. Connect, make sure that's on 0. See if we can do this the other way around. Keep it, everything out of harm's way. That connects, and that connects. And let's just give it a little blast. Wow. So we think that's, so now I just want to see what the timing's on. So I had it the wrong way around on the timing, which was interesting on the markings, I mean. So that was full up there, so let's just nip that up. Not too tight because these do round quite easily. Right, and that's solid, so let's just have a quick blast again. Oops. You can definitely hear it's directional. This is forward. Excellent. Right, so that's now in place. Let's just connect. Ooh. Right. So, we're starting to make progress, guys, slowly. So the next stage is going to be to figure out which way around all this goes with the top force or 17-tooth pinion. So I just needed to dig my little chart out of where the holes go, because this aluminium motor mount is not numbered and we want the wires at the top. So first things first, we can put the pinion on, which is pretty easy on the top force. Just need to slacken that pinion off slightly. So mount a little spacer, 17-tooth pinion, holding it tight, pushing it down, getting a grip, and then let's give it a little bit of force. There, slide that off. That's that bit done. So, because it's a 17-tooth pinion, it's the second hole. So where's the mark? It normally gives you... So 17-tooth is the second one in. So the problem I have is, that's, where is it? That's the 17 there. That's 17 and that. I think it's that way around. Reason I'm messing around with this is we need to make sure that we get this correct, because it only goes in one way, and if I get it wrong the wires will be coming out the bottom instead. I'll just nip that up very slightly. The second one is there. I always get this wrong, always. And then by the time I stick it in the car, I have to take it back out. Right. So wires that way. Right, let's just stick it in the car. See, right, after a lot of messing around as usual, and getting it wrong and then having to change it, we've got it in the right position now. So just going to stick a little bit of grease on the 17-tooth pinion just to get it on that spur gear as well. And then with the wires up, we should be able to, there, you can feel it locate. And then let's just nip this up. Again, I always tend to go a little bit tighter with these, just because it's going into the alloy. Right. So, TRF Acto Power, no sorry, TRF Acto tuned competition motor is in, and we can't really turn it. We can a bit, but I just want to get a little bit of that grease around so it don't fall off onto the plastics. Right. Excellent. Looks pretty cool as well. Right, let's now move that off and just build this back up very quickly. Get the springs. As I say, we want this motor to be able to fight another day. Let's try to figure out which are the timing markings now. Okay, that was probably very stupid of me. I can't see any markings. What side that goes together on? Anyway, I've got a photo of it, so we'll just stick it on. And then when we do come to run it, obviously we'll give it a little bit more attention. Right, that's on. Let's just nip that up slightly. Put the brushes back in. Springs, clip on and over. There, fold that up. I hope I do use this mortar again. It's one of those things I tend just to, when I'm kind of done with it and it's half decent, I kind of move it on to let someone else have some fun with it. Anyway, that's it, ready to fight another day. So, now it's time to get the speedo in the top force. Right, next stage is to get the speedo in. Now unfortunately this is quite a high speedo because of the fan, but because we're running very hot brush mortars we have to have the fan on. So unfortunately it has to go on its side, because if we put it the furthest back we can put it up to the batteries here, but we can't get it underneath the chassis. So this corner, the top force shell comes down at quite a severe angle and hits it. So I fitted one of these before, so what I do is, because it's got a little bit of a shape, it's flat here and then it comes inwards, what I do is I just pack this bit out with 3 layers of foam, and then this is the one it's going to sit on. And it seems to, it works fine. So on its side you can put it right up to the receiver, and then when we stick that down, that foam just stops it, because obviously if there was any weight on it without that foam it could come off the adhesive, but when it's like that it fits perfectly. So in fact, let's just stick it in. I've also got to get into the little switch here which takes you from NIM to LiPo, whichever. So where's that switch? So switch it, so I can still get that to the back when the battery's out. So before we squash this down, we just need to get it in the position we want, which is pretty much there. Just give it a good press down. And that's in, and it's not going anywhere. The motor wire's there, which we're going to need to tidy up. Battery wire we'll have to tidy up. We'll get the switch mounted here. So we'll just do that while we're here. How big is that switch? It's got a bit fair size footprint. In fact, I'll be leaving this gear in for a while. Well, I say a while. Oh, God. Because as soon as we run this TRF motor, we can put the Reader 8 double competition motor back in. It's the same setup, which is really cool, because that's the motor I'm itching to see what speeds it does, and then we'll possibly play with the timing again. So we need to tidy these wires up, but that can go there, like that. I'll just get a quick swig of coffee. Cheers, it's my third so far. We're 3 hours into this now, believe it or not. It's so time consuming. But we've got a lot done, to be fair. Right, speedo's in place, there's the battery out. So really, it's just a case of, I need to feed that wire. Oops. Let's get these wires done properly, or as best as we can. Let's get that fed, because that shouldn't be through there. In fact, let us go all the way back through, like that, and then that needs to be fed into the receiver, which is the black wire. This is going to be a bit fiddly. This is going to be extremely fiddly. Oh, we're in, we got it. of a screwdriver very gently just to make sure they're both down on either side. Yep. So we can tidy those wires up with tie wraps and then tuck them under there. In fact, that's what we'll do next. I could do with a head cam so you can actually see what I'm looking at. That would help, but anyway. So I wonder if we can feed that wire through a little bit to catch it. I'm not very good with wires, guys. I am when they're staying in. When they're not moving for a long time, I'm pretty good with them, I must admit, and I take my time. But with things like this, I don't take enough time, unfortunately. Which is poor, I know. But nevertheless, this does the job. There's a nice bit of room in the top force just to wedge that down and then in, like that. Away from the drive shaft completely. Prop shaft, drive shaft. Prop shaft, isn't it? Right, that's excellent. So that's done. Let's just connect. I'll tell you what we'll do now. We'll connect that, we'll switch the power on, because we need to know which way around, if I've got the motor wires correct. So it goes yellow to yellow. If I haven't, it doesn't matter. Let's turn on. Battery, which one is that? That's that way. Switch on. Ooh. Something is wrong. That's not good. That's really not good. What could that be? I've got something wrong. Loose wire or anything? Nope. Oh. Okay. Fans working on the speedo. Oh, we've not had this problem before. Definitely not. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Ah, Glenn, you are a dickhead. So what I've done is I've put the wire in the wrong way around in the receiver. What a pleb. And you know what? That's going to be pretty difficult to get out without cutting that tie wrap. I don't want to cut that tie wrap. What an idiot. Ah! Dumbass. See, again, this is what happens when you don't take your time, or you're making these silly YouTube videos. These little mistakes happen. Right, so that's the servo, this is the speedo. I can't believe I did that. So I had it the wrong way around. Now we've got to see if we can get it back in. Come on. Oh, yes, we're in. We're in. We're in! Right. I think before we tie her up again, it might be good practice just to give that a go. Switch on. That sounds better. No, 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 no. Oh. Okay. Phew. Let's see if we got forward. Nope, that's the wrong way around. Turn off. Oh, God. And crimps get a good grip. Oh, Right, so unfortunately, now this is going on the right way, so let's make sure we get these connected properly and with the sheathing covering. There we go. Oh, that's got a good grip. If you don't get a good grip on these, it can arc and make a mess. Get that one in like that. That's not very good. Let's just push this one up a bit, like that. And let's also just slide that one up. Now we can get it in. There we go. There we go. Right. Take 3 or 4, whatever it is. So we've got the steering and forward. Sounds nice, that motor. Sounds very nice. We like it a lot. Right, what's next? Oh, I know. Let's do all these wires again. Because you're a dumbass, Glenn. So let's fold that. Come on. That one like that. Right. We kind of need all of this covering. I bet this don't work this time because I'm trying to be clever. Right, that can go there. That's not a problem. In fact, let's just zip it up at that. Oh, this is not nearly as nice as it was last time. But as I say, plenty of space hidden under there. Let's push that down. Let's move that switch wire underneath that little servo wires, if we can, like that, and then trap it. So miles away from drive shaft and the servo. I want to make sure that it's not too close to the servo either. Just fold that one back. That's not going anywhere, and then the servo's clear as well. Right, that's good. What's next? Motor wires, battery wires. We can probably leave where they are because they're going to tuck down nicely. So it's just what we can do with these. Let's just put the battery in again. Don't know what I'm going to do with them. I wonder if we could just tuck a tie wrap either side, just there and there, and that would probably keep it in place. Sounds like a plan. So let's just, oh hang on, I don't want to get those wires, let's just make sure that's going to be there. Not that it matters, but it might matter. We can catch up there. Right, we'll zip that one. Come on, just zip that one there. And we'll zip this one here. Pretty pointless this bit, I know, but it'll sit with the weight of the body then a little bit better. And out the way, more importantly. That's not the best, is it? But let's just get the body shell on. I think it won't fit. That's because I've got the GPS in, which I have to wedge down, which I'm not going to take out because I'm sick of taking it in and out. So I have to wedge it like that. Just hide that wire. Yeah, that's fine. So you can see the body's pretty straight. Yeah, that's cool. Excellent. This is good. So we are kind of done, I think. What's next? So we can get the under tray on back on. Yeah, let's do that. Take the battery out. Screws. Nice and flat. Always find this under tray, it can creep if you don't tighten it up properly. Right. Right. Under tray done. Just while we've done that, let's just bang on the aerial wire back on. Push that in. Boom, we're getting there. Now the spoiler, of which I took the grub screws out, because I always find that when I test a motor, the vibration makes these fly out, and I've lost loads of these things. Right, let's get it something like. That'll do. Nip it up. Right. So, we're good, we're happy. I think, let's just whiz the wheels back on. These tyres are nearly done. This torque force hasn't done well for me. It really has had some major outings, and it's never dropped a beat. Torque force is definitely one of the greatest Tamiya cars ever. Definitely. It's just so good out the box. I think you could say the same about the DF01 range anyway, actually. Manta Rays, Dirt Thrashers, Terra Conquerors if you ever see one. The chassis is awesome. And this is just twice as good because of the weight saving and the extra strength you get. Right, so wheels back on, let's just test them diffs. Nothing ever goes wrong with the ball diffs, with the gear diffs even. That motor seems like it's got a fair bit of, the magnets seem very powerful, which is great. Battery in. Connect up. Let's give it its final little kick. Let's make sure. Let's put this up so you can see it a bit better. Right, see what we've got. Yeah, that's a quick motor. You can tell that's a quick motor. I'm just steering looks a little bit off. Steering does look wrong way. Right. that bad boy is ready to have a blast. Really interesting to see what speed this is going to go. I mean, it's not going to be mega quick, but it should outperform a Dynatec O2H. I'm expecting it to be up there with the 11 turn super modified, if I'm honest. But we will see. Right. Well guys, I'm pretty sure I've just rattled on to myself for the last hour or whatever it is. But I had fun anyway. If you did watch this full video, you need to get a life. Joking. So anyway, that's really good. That's good work today. We've now got the top force ready to run with the new setup, all the right gearing, and we'll get out tonight with this hopefully and see what this TRF motor can do. So I'll shut up. So I hope you enjoyed this style of video. If I get loads of thumbs down, obviously I'll know not to do this again. But if people like it and want to see a little bit more detail to what I do during the day, then leave it in the comments. So once again guys, thank you for watching, it's much appreciated. And if you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us on our weekly videos, that would be absolutely awesome. And as always guys, happy ass seeing.